Jim Jones have made himself the laughingstock of the internet yet again. At this point, I'm starting to feel like he's doing it on purpose because there's no way on planet anybody as old as Jim Jones is this unaware. He's lacked zero self-awareness. And I'm starting to believe maybe he's doing this because he wants to be talked about, because he wants to go viral. He wants to have his name in the rumor mill because it makes no sense. He's not this stupid. I refuse to believe it. Maybe I should have believed Jim Jones when he made a post a day after Shannon Sharpe exposed him and embarrassed him for lying about having more platinum records and more Billboard hits than Nas. And he came on his Instagram page and said he was a mastermind of the internet. That was a few hours after Shannon Sharpe made him the laughingstock of the internet because he was parading around a lot of platforms, Fat Joe and Jada podcast, telling them he's more influential, he has more hits than Nas, he's done more than Nas, he's more relevant than Nas. And because Fat Joe and Jada, they're essentially yes men and they want no problem, they kind of let Jim Jones sort of ramble and filibuster with pure nonsense. Shannon Sharpe wasn't going for it. He called him out to his face. That made Jim Jones very upset. He began to attack Shannon Sharpe personally, attack his wardrobe. And all Shannon Sharpe was saying was, hey, bro, you're not better than Nas. You're not bigger than Nas, more relevant than Nas. You don't rap better than Nas. You do nothing better than Nas. Literally, bro, cut it out. And he got really pissed off. And then a few hours later, he was on Instagram posting this. This is the most autistic thing I've ever seen. Instead of just using the Instagram feature where you could literally type a note onto a blank canvas and post it directly to Instagram, he decided he was going to use the Notes app in his phone to type up a message for the world or for anybody mad at him saying he's better or more influential or got more hits than Nas. He decided that he was going to go to the Notes app, type it up, leave all the misspelling in and all the cues, the signal of misspelling, right? The red underscores, and still post it this way. But the note stated, if you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas, y'all already lost. Y'all fell for the bait. My streams go up every time. First off, only 40-year-olds is able to argue with you about Nas. That's the demographic who was literally able to watch your entire career and Nas' entire career. People who are 25, 24 years old, bruh, they don't know that much about it. They wasn't present. So he would claim, though, that apparently this is all a marketing scheme. I got viral. I'm teaching you older artists a lesson in marketing. Y'all so stuck in yesterday. Y'all mad at the way things run today. Tighten up, LOL. So now I'm confused. Is this a masterclass in marketing? Is this just cloud chasing? Is this rage bait? If it is, kudos to Jim Jones. This is like the perfect rage bait, bruh. This is like Jordan Poole coming out and claiming, I'm better than Michael Jordan, man. Michael Jordan ain't had handles like this. And then pinpointing things that he do really well, but just trying to take advantage of the fact that kids who are, let's say, under 25 years old never got to see Michael Jordan play. So they just see highlights, not really knowing that Michael Jordan had a bag. Michael Jordan literally do everything on a basketball court 100 times better than Jordan Poole. Jim Jones and Nas is the same conversation, bro. It's the exact same conversation. So if it's rage bait, congratulations. But I don't think it's rage bait, bro. I think Jim Jones really believed this madness, which is why he goes on multiple podcasts and repeat himself. And when Shannon Sharpe was trying to check him, he got really upset. So it's cool to say it's rage bait and you're not bothered when you are home and out of like the heat of conflict. But we've seen you get really upset and result to personal insult when you were being confronted for the nonsense that you said about Nas. Now, Jim Jones was recently on another podcast that just dropped today called Backfield. Shout out to Backfield, man, Esso and Hannigan. And they asked him about Nas. And he sounds even more delusional. It's getting worse.
Yo, man, there's been a lot of controversy lately with you, man. You've been going viral, man.
AKA the marketing genius.
As we supposed to.
No doubt.
I seen a lot of things take a spike. Now all equals $1. That's what we trying to make out here.
You made a comparison with you and Nas, man. Everybody was talking about it. Now, why out of everybody you pick Nas, bro?
I didn't do it.
They asked him. They asked him a question, didn't they?
I didn't do it.
What happened was these dudes out of Atlanta, Direct and Rain, they had spoken about Jimmy and Nas's name. And then that spiraled into Joe and Jada, and it took a whole life of its own, man.
But I said, although he asked him the question, it's like people don't know that the question was answered and this was brewing up on the net before it was even spoke about.
when I listen to what Jimmy said, all the points he's given based on the fashion, based on how the mixtapes ran, based on the influence. If we take Nas, aside from lyricism, what else does he influence?
He sold a lot of records
Okay, yeah. So selling records is influential in what?
and a whole lot of
I
shit.
just don't think you can compare
It's two different
the
things.
golden era when hip hop was just getting brewing. Like when hip hop was just getting brewing, that's when Biggie, Nas, and Jay was like really like.
And they also were spending millions of dollars on
Yeah,
marketing
it's
money
different.
that even if an artist went platinum, he still didn't recoup.
This is enabling bad behavior. They're literally enabling Jim Jones. First off, don't move the goalpost. Jim Jones didn't start talking about the subjective things until his objectiveness got debunked. When he was throwing things out like the facts and the numbers and the Billboard hits, things that it ain't really no opinion being factored into this, bro. It's either it is or it's not. When he was on Fat Joe and Jada podcast saying he got more hits than Nas, that he got more Billboard records than Nas, that he got more platinum hits than Nas, when he was saying, yo, look up Nas platinum hits and look up Nas. And we looked up their platinum hits and we figured out, bro, Jim Jones, you are out of your mind, bro. You are wrong. Then he came on Shannon Sharpe podcast and said, I made a little boo-boo. However, I'm still more influential. Fam, listen, man. I'm not into participating in dumb conversation. Sorry, I'm just not. Things that can't be proven, things that we gotta argue about, things that strictly opinion-based, like influence, who dresses better, you can keep that nonsense, bro. Jim Jones' original point on Fat Joe and Jada for why he was better than Nas was he thought he had more platinum hits. He thought he had more Billboard records. He thought he had more anthems. It got debunked. So now he's on this pivot tour of I'm more influential, and he's discussing everything that's subjective, things that you can't really prove at all. But the delusion didn't stop here. This is just the beginning of the interview. As the interview progressed, it got worse.
What I did for the music market in New York was add something new, and that was doing your own shit. Independent records. Signed to an independent label in the beginning. I'm still an independent artist right now.
You know what I'm saying?
But do you think this way because you was a part of the Dipset and because you was a part of a group and maybe Nas just been solo, people take credit from being inside a group and not being solo from the beginning?
Nah, I don't think it got nothing to do with that. Like, you know, whatever happened and when we did before, that was just us being combative and people just trying, I mean, but now it's just like I'm where I'm at. I'm at the apex of what I do, you heard? So I'm talking about currently. You heard? Currently, nobody from my era really want to get busy or go and get into the booth with me right now, currently. This is a fact, Jack. You heard? If not, they would have stood up a long time ago and holler at me, you dig? But this is where I'm at with it. My competitive nature brings me here. And then if we go back for the last few years, and the albums and the music that I've been dropping has been phenomenal. And if you want to put that up against anybody's albums that they drop from my era, I think that they getting that. You heard?
But they not.
But they not talking about that, Jim, because it's not true. It's lies. Y'all are literally... Yo, I'll blame y'all for why Jim Jones is making himself look this stupid. We could go back a couple of years, right? We could look at albums over the last couple of years from people from his era. Matter of fact, let's look at the guy he's comparing himself to, Nas. Jim Jones dropped an album or dropped a project or two. The last project Jim Jones dropped did 500 copies first week. That thing went double, triple, quadruple wood, right? It didn't even get a material worth building on. Wood, 500,000. Look at me almost misspeaking. 500 first week. Now, you can look at Nas's numbers, or you can look at the, because Jim was talking about, was the album good or not? Well, Nas King Disease won a Grammy in 2021. Nas was nominated for another Grammy, I believe, in 2023. So the person you're literally comparing yourself to, talking about your album will give anybody else belt to behind, that person won a Grammy for their album. Bro, there's not a competition, there's not a metric you could use to come to the conclusion that Jimmy Jones is a better rapper, more influential in rap, has more accolades than Nas. It's just not true. It's false. Now, I don't know if these are Jim Jones friends or if they like Jim Jones or if them and Jim Jones got a great rapport, but they're letting Jim Jones get off a lot of egregious statements during this interview.
They not hearing you when you say that. It's like they're skipping over
Because you know,
that you're saying.
I be sometimes I just I'm just gonna go. You did? Y'all gonna give me the lane. I'm gonna slam dunk and I'll be at the top of your Explorer page for the next week. You heard? Don't give me that opportunity. But when I do have the platform, I could break everything down. I think everybody can break it down. Also, what y'all stuck on is sales. Cool. You heard? There's a lot of people that sold more records than me that are also not around anymore. Been gone. Diamond, 5-time platinum, 4-time platinum, gold artist. I've seen it since 1997. Gone. I'm still here. From whatever you painted the picture to me to being a hype man, or he wasn't the best rapper, or he just started to get whatever you want to narrative you want to paint, you still got to listen to me talking to you right now in 2025. What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Now, has Nas reached out to you?
You did. The last time he was in some shit like this where people were comparing is when him and Jay was
I knew you
beating
gonna
on him.
say that.
You heard? You did? Like, and I don't want to talk about other people's career, but let's just get to the
Have you spoken
semantics
to
of
Nas
it.
since the whole thing?
Nas.
Jim Jones has had little to no motion that he believes there's little publicity or press that really ain't going nowhere, bro. Like, this ain't making CNN, Fox News. This ain't making really huge podcast. This is something that's like a niche discussion within hip hop. This is something that's like, yo, this is like the C-roll topic for most hip hop shows this week that's gonna get forgotten about next week. But because this is something like that Jim Jones ain't really used to people caring about him like that he now feels like, yo, this is a really big thing. He now feels like he's doing Nas a favor. I can almost guarantee you, bro, this like publicity didn't even make the blurb for Nas, bro. Nas has been discussed for so much more powerful things. Nas has had diamond records, bro. Nas has had press that I believe that far suppresses anything that Jim Jones has ever had. Nas is famous for real, for real. Nas can go to China and they gonna know who Nas is. This is not something that Nas is looking at like, oh my God, thank you for the opportunity. Like, cut it out, bro. Stop it right now, Jim. Stop it, man. Now, when Jim says, yo, you gonna see me at the top of your Explore page, as if he's some marketing genius. Okay, cool, you got the attention. What are you selling? That's one thing that they don't ask themselves. You got the people attention. Okay, cool. They talking about you now. What are you selling? Like, what product you got like out right now? Nothing, bruh. In the Fat Joe podcast, they bring up an album. This podcast never brought up the album name. Never brought up what you're selling. So essentially, what you're saying is, people are talking about me. This is great. And it's not resulting in you being paid or you getting paper. It's not at all. Now, Jim Jones will put himself in a position like, yo, these other people who sold diamond, they're not being talked to right now by y'all. That's because they probably don't want to. You think Nas can't request an interview with almost any platform in the world? Nas is up 100 million right now, bro. Nas don't want to talk to niggas, man. That's the diff. Nas don't want to talk or hear our opinions, bro. He's up 100 M's. He got a Grammy recently. Man, now Jim Jones will call Shannon Sharpe a bozo for confronting him, man. Yeah, bro, check out this nonsense. I don't know why you would choose to burn this bridge, but he did.
Why you feel like people always trying to throw shots though?
I mean, that's what they do. That's the media. You heard? And I encourage it because if they don't throw shots, then I don't get to throw shots back and show them who I really am. That shit don't mean nothing to me. I'm a master of sticks and stones. They
You
gotta
and
do
Shannon
better
Sharpe
than
was
that.
going at it.
Man, Shannon's a bozo, man. You heard? Country man is a bozo, man. NFL was the best thing that happened for you in your life, bro, because you's a bozo.
I
You
think that
heard?
would be dope. The little workout
He don't
competition
want
that
to
might
get
be
in the
fire.
gym. He too old. Crickets. You heard?
Yo, Jimmy.
I break that 30 minutes.
Before you ask your
Okay.
question,
Two signals that Jim Jones is delusional. One, burning a bridge with Shannon Sharpe, the biggest podcast in Black culture, is crazy. Jim will claim that Joe Budden podcast is bigger. I don't think so, but y'all can discuss that in the comment section. And also, bruh, Jim Jones thinking that he could break Shannon Sharpe from his workout when Shannon Sharpe is literally an NFL Hall of Famer who's probably in the best shape I've ever seen anybody his age in. You not breaking that man. Bro, that man literally played in the NFL, Jim Jones. I promise whatever pseudo workout like you think you got is not breaking an NFL Hall of Famer, bro. Cut it out, man. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? Y'all think Jim Jones is tripping? Is he spitting? Let me know. And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen. Somewhere here on my screen, man. Rather, here. To find out how Bernie Sanders got low-key destroyed during this Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not into politics. I don't have a side to choose in politics. I just thought it was a very interesting review. So click on the video and let me know what you think, all right? I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.